everyone. It's Betsy with Advisor Verified, and I'm so excited today. This morning here, I've got with me Jody LaFrance, and she is going to be sharing with us about her story as a life insurance advisor. And I just love that we get to put a spotlight on you today, Jody. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on and just sharing a little bit. How are
Thank
you
you
doing?
for having me. I'm doing great. It's a great day to be alive. I'm above the dirt and not below it. So it's good.
There we go. That is great. Well, yeah, before we, really just dive in deep, just why don't you tell everyone kind of where you're from and yeah, how long you've been in insurance.
Sure. So my name is Jody. I'm also married to Jody LaFrance. So my husband and I have the same first name.
No,
And
oh Lord, that's hilarious.
that's kind of fun. We did not plan that out. It just happened that way. But anyway, we say he snatched me up out of the desert. I grew up in a far west Texas town by El Paso.
Okay.
And so anyway, education background. And anyway,
Love it.
we have been married almost 19 years. We
Okay.
have 5 children. We have 4 girls and 1 boy, ages
Oh,
15
wow.
down to 4. So
Wow.
I'm pretty sure we will never be empty nesters. We're gonna have kids forever. Um,
Kids or
and
grandkids,
that
your house is going to be
yeah,
full and wonderful.
yes, it is not quiet at our house often. We just kind of learn to thrive in chaos sometimes. But I mean, that really is kind of part of my story. So we live in West Texas. We live in Abilene now. My husband
Okay.
is an assistant principal at a middle school, and I work
Okay.
from home. So insurance, I came into the financial services space. Used to work at a church and then moved to an insurance agency. I was helping a friend of mine. I translated for him. I speak Spanish. And so just kind of started off as an assistant for him, setting appointments and whatever he needed. And then about 4 years ago, things changed in that captive agency. And so he was open to some other opportunities, and a friend invited us to look at the company that we're with now, and it was a fit. So,
Okay.
I already had my PNC license,
Okay.
but they just encouraged me to get my life license. And I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I was completely going off of a trust factor. I knew the people that I was
Hmm.
visiting with. I mean, we'd known each other for a long time, and they kept encouraging me. And honestly, like when I started, my whole goal, Betsy, was just to make $500 a month. If I could just replace the part-time income that
Okay.
I was accustomed, because I had babies. I mean, I had little kids at home all the time, so we're all the
Yes.
time, you know.
Well,
Um, so anyway, that's what really drew me in is I needed another opportunity. I needed something that I could do from home if possible. Um,
Mhm.
and crazy enough, that was right during COVID. So nobody was going out, and I guess the company that we're with now used to do all in-home appointments. Um, and if it hadn't have been for COVID, I probably would not have participated because I was not going to be driving all over creation, going to people's homes with babies. That wasn't going to work for me. But
That would have
because
been great if you showed up. Hi, I'm here to help with insurance. And
Yeah,
this
and
is my
here's my
this is
kids.
my
I hope
assistant.
Yeah,
This is my
I hope you
assistant.
don't mind. Here we go. But COVID changed everything, and because it became remote,
Mm.
I had an opportunity, and so that's what I've been doing, and it's been awesome.
Well, so okay, we gotta have you been able to make at least $500 a month?
Yes, I have. Yeah, it took me a little bit of time to get going.
Mhm.
It was just a new
Yeah.
skill set that I
Really?
had it, but it's not the same. You know how it is? I
Mhm.
mean, there's just new things to learn. So
It's
it
just
did
different.
take me, yeah, it was just different. And so I had mentors that coached us. We had systems in place to help us learn those new skills. And I'm just so grateful I gave myself a chance to not be good for a while, and my
Well,
husband he was really encouraging, very supportive,
mhm.
and so I just appreciate that the voices around me, the people that were really mentoring me
Mhm.
were very upfront and very, honest about, look, if this is a new skill set for you, you have to give yourself an opportunity to learn. And I think it's kind of neat because about that time, our baby, number
Okay.
5, she was learning how to crawl and how to walk during that
Okay.
time. And I
Mhm.
really felt like it was such a practical visual for me because she was never discouraged and she was never upset with herself when she would fall down. She
Huh.
just kept trying. She just kept
Wow.
being persistent, and we cheered for her. We were never upset with her for not being
Of
able to
course
stand
not.
up and
Oh
walk.
my goodness.
We were so proud of her, effort and the natural progression of how those skills get built. So, I
Mm.
just felt like, you know, my faith background, I just felt like God was continually using things around me to show me, "Look, you're worth the investment. You're worth investing
Oh, I
in.
love that.
You
Yeah.
really need to give yourself a break and just give yourself permission that you're learning." And I think that's a big deal. I think that's one of the main reasons I stuck it out.
Mm.
And I'm so
Jody,
glad I
thank
did.
I'm so glad you did too. And I love what you shared there. That truly touched my heart. Like you are worth it. Of course you are. And I hope that people hearing this, moms, especially young moms with young kids, because it can be so overwhelming. When I started, my boys were in elementary school, so it's just different from when they're babies. It's a different,
Yeah.
different time, but it's a different, it's so I love though that you took that, and instead of making that an excuse or a reason of like, hey, I can't do this, that became that motivation for you to continue. And that struggle, not even a struggle that you saw your daughter going through, like it became your inspiration. Oh my word, that is just amazing. I love that so much. And wow, I got to say too, COVID is probably the main reason that I'm still here as well. Because yeah,
Isn't that
going
amazing?
virtual it changed everything. Like I was driving all around East Tennessee and all the mountains, and I was afraid I was gonna kill myself on the windy roads. It would be so dark, and I was like, I hope I don't die. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, it's in front of the computer, and then I could walk outside and just walk outside the door and see my family. I was like, this is amazing.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is
It's a game
amazing.
changer. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It can be your greatest asset, and it can be a
Mhm.
distraction, but, that I think you had asked, earlier, just,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that I've learned, and I was thinking on that, meditating,
Mhm.
and, just the skill set of being a business owner. I
Mm.
really had never owned a business before,
Yeah.
and I kinda I mean, I've been around business owners, but doing
Mhm.
it yourself, it really exposed a lot of gaps in my learning,
Yeah.
and, I would say that being in this industry has given me so much because
Mm.
I've had to be honest about where the skill set gaps are and time
Oh.
management and just character
Oh.
issues in myself. I guess I don't there's a guy in our, organization that says the first year you learn a lot about insurance, the second year you learn a lot about yourself, and the third year your business explodes. And I
Mm.
would say I think it's pretty
That's
spot
pretty accurate. Yeah.
pretty accurate because I feel like that has, just we're constantly growing, we're constantly learning, and that's not just specific to our industry, but I feel like just the personal development and the personal growth of being a business owner, it really has just held a mirror up in front of me and given me the opportunity to take that journey of, do I want to grow? Do I want to mature? Okay, then I'm going to have to be honest about the things that I see here. And then also the celebration. It's not like every day's a beat down or, we're
Right.
gonna have a serious conversation today. Like it but I am incredibly grateful. It's been incredibly meaningful to me, the growth opportunities to grow as my business professionally, but as a human being,
Mm.
and the skills that we learn. I think it makes me a better wife and a better mom. So
I love that. I was just thinking, Jody, as you were saying that, it honestly is amazing. It seems like every person I interview, that comes up of like, hey, actually being in this field, being in insurance has made me grow as a person. I've had to work on myself. I've had to work on my mindset. Who would have ever thought when you took your insurance license or exam that, hey, this would lead to me growing as a person,
Yeah.
like, wow.
I was unaware. I was quite unaware. And it was such an amazing realization to see
Mhm.
what it was going to require of me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
thought, well, I've never done really good at sales. I don't know if this is for me, lots
Mhm.
of self-doubt. Um, but
Mhm.
I mean, yes, there is a skill set and we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing, but really I think it's been more of a heart journey and a
Mm.
head journey versus just book smarts. Anybody can learn.
Oh.
Anybody can
Oh, I
learn.
love that. A heart journey. That's strong. Well, tell me, Jody, what would you say, kind of as you reflect back on this time, what would be one of your most significant moments as an insurance agent?
That's a good question. I'll tell you what I'm most passionate about.
Okay.
When I learned about infinite banking,
Okay.
I already knew some about whole life. I knew a little bit about term. We had some of these
Mhm.
products. We already had term policies put in place. We
Yeah.
had a value for that.
Mhm.
But I really feel like whenever we started learning about infinite banking, I knew that was something that I wanted in my life.
Mm.
Just became more convinced that we personally needed it for our family. And
Okay.
so when I began the journey of learning how to do that, I just now we're into it about 3 or 4 years. I
Okay.
love I love my infinite banking policy more every single year that I have it. Like,
Mhm.
I
Yep.
can't tell you that about my car. I can't tell you that about my favorite pair of pants, even though I do have my favorite pair of pants. Very few things that I own do I love more and more and more as time. Most things depreciate
Wow.
in value,
Mhm.
but the education that I have received and am continuing to receive, I feel like it is appreciating my value, my family's value, the opportunities that we have.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I've drunk the Kool-Aid. I'm sorry. I'm all in. Uh,
Okay, well, so let me ask you this, Jody. Okay, so we may have people listening that have never heard of infinite banking. So could you give us a little brief? I know infinite banking is
oh, I
I
don't
love it
know.
too. I
Yeah,
know but it's usually like, oh, how do I explain it? So could you give us like a very
sure.
short overview, or even like,
I
hey,
can
this,
tell you our story pretty quickly, I think, you
okay,
know?
yeah, or even like how you use it and why it's so impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. So my family, my husband has been the primary breadwinner for
Okay.
our whole marriage, okay? Because I've been barefoot and pregnant most of our married life is what it has just felt. And so we didn't want to have our kids in daycare all the time. It's just a personal decision that we had,
There
you
you
know.
go. Yeah.
Um, but anyway, money was always a struggle, just
Mm,
constantly.
yeah.
And we tried to do, our popular radio personality. We tried very hard to just abide by all the things, and it did work. It was very helpful, but it just was very difficult to get ahead. I have to tell
Mhm.
you, it's like you
Yeah.
do all the things. It was just really challenging for us to be faithful to all of that. And so, what I would say has been a game changer for us with infinite banking is it's allowing us to take over the banking function in our life.
Okay.
Nelson Nash talks about it. We finance everything, everything. We
Mm,
either pay money to somebody else to use their capital, and it
okay.
goes out of our pockets through interest, or we finance the opportunity to earn more capital when we pay cash for things. And if we, so in, I'm not communicating that super well, but what I'm trying to say is through infinite banking, it's giving us an opportunity to recapture the interest that would be flowing out of our resource, our
Mm.
river of income, if you will, a way to dam the tide and
Oh,
create a pool of resources that we can use, and we can create be our own bank, so to speak. And so we've had to replace 2 vehicles in the past 4 years.
Okay.
Normally, we would have to borrow from a lender
Hmm.
and pay interest to the lender to do that. Well, because we capitalized as quickly as we could our infinite banking policy, which is a whole life participating policy from a mutually owned company,
Okay.
we borrow against our policy. We do
Okay.
pay interest to a insurance company, but we're part owners of that insurance company. And so when they make a profit, we also make a profit in the form of dividends. And so our money continues to grow uninterrupted. It's a
Hmm.
long-term play. It's not a get rich quick type of a thing, but it's just over time. It's one of those choices you can make that further down the road, you'll be so glad that you did. And
Hmm. I
we
love
feel it. We're owners. It just is this is a lesson that I've learned, Betsy, is the more we take responsibility for our lives, the more dollars stay in our pocket. When we
it.
pay
Ooh,
other organizations for convenience and we outsource these things to them, sometimes it's totally appropriate to do that. It's not unethical, it's not wrong, okay? But
right.
the more we are willing to accept responsibility and handle things for ourselves, the more dollars get to stay in our pocket. And I find that attractive.
I'm okay with that. I know our family uses it as well. I think my favorite one of the things I always love to say is like, hey, when it comes to like Christmas time or birthdays or like going on vacation, like my Christmas morning, we're watching our kids open up their Christmas presents, right? And I'm still
Mhm.
earning interest on the money that I use to buy those Christmas presents. And so
Yes,
it's like I'm still making money while my kids are enjoying their Christmas. And so all of a sudden, there's no stress on Christmas Day or on
that's
birthdays.
right.
Like it's just
Yes,
continuously able to earn money. And, our family just there it just takes off a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And so we can focus on the things that are important and
that's
not have to be
exactly
worried
right.
about the money aspect of it.
Yes, yes.
And
I love that.
our family comes from a education and ministry background, and we were never in it for the money, but money always just seemed to sort of like creep in. There was not a whole lot of it, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so being able to do that, it just opens so many doors to be able to do even so much more in our community. So
yeah.
I
Well, and it's
I
like
feel that. I feel
you can
that.
just
Mhm.
be a normal person and do this. You don't
Yes.
need a
Yes.
PhD. It's available to everyone that wants to learn how to do it. It's
Yes.
accessible. You don't have to
Mhm.
have a six-figure income right now to get on the path to do it. Um,
Exactly.
I don't know. It's very attractive to me. So, and
Well,
any,
no, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, like, it has been so energizing to be able to educate families about that.
Mm,
So, I'm sitting in my office and I have my license in about 5 or 6 different states. Um,
okay.
I have a schedule. I know that, my family's big, we call it the big rocks. We put our big rocks in our week first, and then I plan my
Okay.
business around that.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
and so I just love that I can interact with other families and I can
mhm.
come, like, especially in our industry, sometimes there's a lot of misinformation that gets, and sometimes a stereotype of what an insurance agent is. I am so incredibly grateful that I get to be my authentic self. I am
Mm,
an encourager. I'm somebody that wants to bring joy, hope,
mm.
love, opportunity. I get to really be myself and bring that to my clients, and help serve their families and help them do what they want to do.
Mm.
I
I
love
love
that.
that. Jody, you're so authentic. That joy of serving your clients, it's just coming. I just feel it. I feel it's so real. And so if you're listening to this and you've thought, man, I think I would be interested in something like that for my family, I would say, guys, Jody is available. Reach out to her. She wants to help you have that same options. And man, who would not want to work with Jody? I
Oh,
can't imagine who wouldn't want
thank
who
you.
wouldn't want that you coming in and just giving that kind of education, giving that support. So yeah, definitely reach out to Jody if that's something that you're interested in. And Jody, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I love hearing your story. It's so beautiful, and it's just such a great reminder that you don't have to come from any certain background here to be in insurance. You can come from, corporate halls. You can come from your home with children around you and make a difference, a lasting impact on other people's lives. And so thank you for what you're doing, for showing your children what's possible, for doing that in your family. And I'm so glad we got to hear your story today. That's so awesome to hear.
Thank you for creating a platform to be able to share stories. I love that.
Oh, this is just, honestly, it's fun. This is my favorite part of the day, getting to do these. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and we appreciate you so much, Jody.
Thank you.
Hey there. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Advisor Spotlight. Here at Advisor Verified, we love spotlighting agents all across America as they share their passion for why they love doing what they get to do, protecting you and your family. So be sure to go to advisorverified.com and search for an advisor in your state that you connect with and that you know is licensed, insured, verified.